Hey everyone, I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Haven Cottage Event Center, okay? It is opening in spring. That is right around the corner. And that is a perfect time to host any kind of small to medium-sized occasions. What do you want? Business? Receptions? Art? Whatever it is, just call, send an email, and I bet your event is going to be approved. The phone number and email is all in the description down below. Haven Cottage Event Center. Enjoy the high notes of life the right way.
One more podcast. It is time for another one. One more podcast.
Welcome back to the One More Podcast. I'm here with, of course, Blake, who just can never seem to stop being on my podcast. I'm here to complain for a little bit, and then we'll move on to another segment in which I complain some more. And then I'll complain some more. I think, you know what, this is just, like we had the previous time with the bonus whatever complaint episode where I complained about the driving and stuff like that. We'll essentially have the same thing, but I'm going to be complaining just as much. So, anyways.
I'm here to listen.
Let's jump into it. So, I hate drivers.
Right.
I really do. I'm not going to spend the whole half hour complaining about drivers and stuff like that.
But you're gonna strive through it.
But I'm going to make sure that people are fully aware of how horrible they are driving. So again, do you need a refresher on the situation, which I've explained before in terms of when I'm driving home from work?
No, I am fully aware of that.
All right,
intersection,
so
highway merge.
Right, thank you. Okay, so for those quick 30-second pitch, there is essentially a 3-way road, turns into a 2-way. It merges. You have a long distance to see that it merges. Okay, I haven't really had problems with it in the past before, and not that big of a deal. But today, specifically today, and the reason why I'm bringing it up is that there was an enormous amount of people who just did not care. I literally, and I'm not afraid to admit this, my hand was out giving the bird the entire time I was in that middle lane. Waiting for things to merge, I had it just out. It wasn't directed at anybody. Well, okay, it was directed at them, but it wasn't directed specifically at a single person. Okay,
the group of drivers that were trying to get in.
Exactly. And for the first probably 5 to 7 minutes, I would say, definitely these people they didn't care. They would just kept driving along, kept driving. And then, guess what? That third lane started to get backed up. Sure. Wow, gee whiz. It's a lane that merges, and now all of a sudden it's super backed up. The reason why I'm bringing this up, all right, here's the kicker. Okay? Mm-hmm. Generally, and I'll do, and again, like no shame, I will do this, and I have done this.
Are you not worried that somebody can get even more aggressive than you on the road? And
see, I'm not so worried about that aspect of it, just because I know that they're in the wrong. So if they're just going to call me an a-hole for flipping them off, well, they're the one who thinks that their time is more valuable, so they're going to speed up, cause more traffic by trying to merge instead of just merging previously when you could prevent that traffic. More specifically, the reason why I bring up this story is that a cop passed me. When my hand was out in the air, middle finger in the air, and a cop passed me.
Huh.
Nothing happened at all. The cop just drove by me.
What can he do?
No, exactly. But I was just, for half a second, I legitimately was like, oh, he's gonna slam on the brakes and then be like, son, what are you doing? And then obviously I'd have to give him my little 30-second speech about my protest about this intersection here. But no, he just drove past me, and it got me thinking. And at first I was just like, okay, whatever, whatever. He's got more important things on his mind, whatever, blah, 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 blah.
His job. Yeah.
But here's the thing, though. I wouldn't have made such a big deal about it until the traffic cleared. Just took less than 3 minutes or whatever just for it to clear because of the people trying to drive past me. Essentially, I was able to make my U-turn, but guess who I saw still stuck in traffic trying to make a straight or left turn? The cop. So my thing is, again, disclaimer: I love the police. I think they're very valuable. I think they're very crucial into having a crazy society. I think they are kind of the borderline to prevent us from going into an all-wild chaos.
Yeah, in baseball, we call it a brushback pitch.
What is that?
When the batter gets too close to the plate and you're a pitcher, It's called crowding the plate, and when he's
Sure.
too close, you throw close to him to make him remember, hey, I'm
scooch
still
off.
here, back
Okay.
off.
All right, so yes, I think that the police in certain situations can be that borderline of, are we going to be chaotic?
Anarchy, or
exactly, right. But anyways, so I don't understand why they, because I cannot think for the life of me, if you're not in an emergency, shouldn't you be following the strict rules and regulations of the road? Shouldn't you be following the, not even just the rules and regulations, but just the politeness and shouldn't you be an example? Shouldn't you be the because multiple times, and I can say this definitively, that multiple times whenever I'm driving on a road that, let's say the speed limit is like 50 or something like that, 50, 55, not like a regular road in a
maybe a
neighborhood
service
or
road kind of thing.
right, sort of, but just still, it's like an open area where there's not like heavy traffic, so that they can put the speed limit up. No one will ever pass the cop. The cop will be driving a certain speed limit. Let's say like the speed limit is 55 and the cop is like driving 50 because I'm paying attention to the odometer. No one will pass him ever. And and for me, I'll drive 55 or hell, even like 5 miles over, because I feel like in Texas, that's just kind of like an accepted practice. Exactly. Yeah. Like
if you're in the left lane, particularly,
Exactly. No one will do that ever. And I would hope that the cops understand that that's kind of like, once they're on the road, they're setting the regulations. They're setting the expectation for how people act on the road. I think that I cannot imagine a world where they wouldn't accept that as reality. So the fact that this guy, seeing that the lane merges, decides to just drive up in front of everybody and just, oh, I can't bear myself to wait, an extra minute or something like that to prevent a backup of a bunch of people. I'm just going to keep driving. Obviously, people.
Is it a Carrollton cop?
Actually,
that's where you're at, right?
Yeah, I think, yeah, we're trying to think, because I go from Louisville, and I think Carrollton's here, but like the Colony kind of merges on the north side of that highway, 121. And so I think Carrollton is still on that south side. I'm not sure if it's the Colony or Carrollton, but it's one of the two, definitely. Okay. So, I mean, what? Have you had bad experiences with Carrollton cops, or just?
Oh no, it's just if it was a Carrollton cop, then I was gonna give him less of the benefit of the doubt, because that's your area, dude. You should know.
Oh, sure,
like,
sure.
You've been driving this for how long?
Exactly, okay. And again, I said I only talk about this for like 5 minutes, so I'm gonna try and limit it. But yeah, no, these people have definitely been driving this road forever and ever and ever. And the back of my head, I'm thinking the giant middle finger in the air out of my window is kind of helping, because it gets to a certain point where they'll stop and they'll start merging. I don't know if it's that they see that the stuff is backed up and they just don't want to deal with it, or whatever it is, or I'm not sure what, but it's helping in some aspect. So I don't know. I just that was my kind of 5 second, just like, I was just, God, people are stupid, and it's not. All right, Kat, hello. Here, hold on a second. All right, done. Over. I have to cut that out.
Yeah, people are dumb.
People are very dumb.
But you're gonna get that everywhere you go.
Oh, for sure. I don't see why.
The only time I don't see bad drivers is whenever I'm driving through Texas small towns. That's where I see the best drivers on the planet.
Really? Okay. All right.
And it's the only place I don't see bad drivers. Like, I took a trip to New Mexico. Horrible drivers through Santa Fe. In Colorado, everyone, there was some, but Colorado was pretty good driving wise. But the only good drivers that I ever know are in small towns.
Yeah, that makes sense. You're not a lot of arrogant people who just have the self.
No, because nobody has. It's not. There's no rush. There's no rush.
Yeah.
Easy going. Take your time. No
you
need
get
to,
there. Be safe.
No need to tailgate somebody. If everyone waves, do you do the finger wave? Do you ever do the finger wave?
What's the finger wave?
Whenever you're driving down the highway and somebody just gives
and you lift your finger up. Yeah,
it's the 2 or the 1.
Yep.
You do that?
I've seen that.
Do you not do it though?
Sometimes I'll try. Honestly, like I try and make it a practice where I'll roll down my window and actually give like a full on wave. Like, yeah, exactly. Like, and I'll totally, if you do the finger wave, I respect it. That's fine. I get it. If you do the, wave because you merged or whatever, and so you have to wave behind you.
Right.
That's great too. But like, I will actively like roll down my window,
Have a
stick up
incoming
my hand,
car is coming,
and
just,
I'm like, yeah,
hi.
or we'll just like, hey, thanks for letting me merge. Like,
no, I'm saying like if you're on a 2-lane highway. And,
and sure.
Just the, the casual.
Oh well, I've seen it more in the I'm crossing a street and then I wave, and then while the car is like coming up or slowing down, they'll give me the finger wave.
Yeah.
That's where I see it the most.
Oh well, then yeah. If somebody ever lets you in on the highway, you got to give them the back over the shoulder.
That's what I'm saying.
Wave.
Like you've
if
got,
people
you've got
don't,
to be
I
pretty...
hate those people.
Mm-hmm.
Hate those people.
Mm-hmm. I agree. It's just like,
and it's usually soccer moms.
Oh, I can't make any comment on that at all.
Oh, I'll make a comment all day.
Go for it.
Cannot stand soccer moms driving.
Really?
Yes, cannot stand them. Because one, they're not good drivers.
Sure.
They're not good drivers. They're too preoccupied with Facebook on their phone, trying to let all of their other gossiping moms know in on what the hell's going on.
Yeah,
can't stand that. They got 2 kids in the back that won't stop touching each other and getting pissed off. They drive this Ford Explorer, or they drive a GMC Denali, something souped up. Oh my gosh.
TVs in the back.
Cannot stand that shit. I also can't stand the same single moms that have headphones in while they're driving.
Okay,
cannot stand that.
I just hate that in general, because I've seen just like people driving sedans or coupes, just like small cars, and they got their headphones in, and I'm like, why?
I don't like that.
Just does your car
That's
not
dangerous, dude?
Are you not willing to shell out $10 to put in like the cassette to MP3 player to plug into your phone? Do you not have like a wireless Bluetooth transmitter or whatever that you?
Maybe their speakers are out.
Either
way, it's dangerous. I think it's stupid, but I think it's more dangerous than it is stupid.
The one thing I will say, if to the argument of maybe your speakers are out, I literally had someone like years ago when I was working at Target. Someone came in and said, my speakers are busted. I don't have enough money to fix the whole surround sound. He bought like a wireless Bluetooth speaker. Yeah, like one of the kind of like the shower radios where you just had a suction cup.
Dude, I've got that in my shower. Yeah,
exactly. So he literally was like, all right, is it got good sound quality? Okay, cool. And he was just gonna suction it to his
dash or whatever.
Yeah,
and
or whatever.
Time to roll.
Done. Yeah. So I don't know. People are just. Anyways, that's not the whole.
No, not why. Point. Not why we're here.
We're not why. Why we're here? Like, why are we here? We're here to talk about a phenomenon, and I don't know because. I don't know how. Obviously, when you first came here, I didn't like gauge on your reaction of what this actually is. But we're here to talk about a problem, and I think this is a very pervasive is the word I'm trying to say. Pervasive.
You got
problem.
it. There you go. Say it one more time.
Pervasive.
You got it.
Pervasive problem, and that is with middlemen. When I say middlemen, what do you think?
Somebody, like just the term middleman, I think of immediately the phrase "don't shoot the messenger" pops into my head. But that has nothing to do with middleman.
That's still relatively fair in this aspect.
But knowing the context beforehand,
that probably skews your judgment a little bit. But then, okay, so then let me throw this at you. All right, and to the listeners here, middleman, important or non-essential?
It varies.
Depending on what?
The product.
If you are selling a product, a unique product, or you are providing a service. Let's say selling a product versus a service.
What kind of service?
Something that makes your life easier. Whatever it is.
So
delivery, driving.
Let's say I need an electrician to come out.
And
I go through Angie's List. That's the middleman
to
find to find a contractor.
Important, or can you take the 5 seconds to look up an electric contractor through whatever other
you could
open source information?
You could.
Okay. So if what is going on? Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. I apologize. Printer is going amok here on my laptop. Why can't everything just work the way I want it to? That'd be amazing. Anyways.
Because then the Terminator happens. Like I'm trying to explain to you.
Yes, because we're going to... In a few years, we're going to have... Skynet or Alphabet Corp come in and totally steamroll all of our information.
Yes.
Anyways. Okay. So I it's fair to say that you think it varies. Correct?
Sure.
There are essential middlemen that provide a... in some industries, in some services... They essentially boil it down to a very minimal, easy user interface that you can click, done, get your service, and it's super fast, super easy, and you only pay a very minimal convenience fee. Correct?
Yeah.
All
One
right.
middleman I do hate though are ticket sales for concerts.
Oh, okay. Yes, yes.
And like a
Ticketmaster
$60 service charge or some
Yeah.
bullshit.
There was I know someone who was going to a concert, and I think the ticket and it will just respectively, I think the ticket was like probably $40-$50.
Mhm.
You're reasonable for a relatively popular hip hop rap artist, and he paid I think maybe $20 in like service fees and stuff like that, like reservation, access fee, blah blah blah, whatever. Like, yeah, no, I agree. I think that is definitely a crime. Obviously, we can't do anything legally.
Yeah.
Okay,
I
I'm
guess
equating scum and crime as the same category, and that's just my personal vendetta. But
Okay.
but anyways,
Yeah, you've got some stake in this game. So
don't even get me started. Don't get me started, Blake. Okay, so in this instance, I think we've poorly established what we've done as middlemen.
Please.
Very poorly.
Let's go rewind.
Okay, okay, let's start over. Okay, there's a big world of middlemen. This middleman that I'm talking about specifically, and this is something. Okay, obviously you're familiar with YouTube.
Yes.
Right, we're on YouTube. We're on whatever. There's millions of videos. We've had discussions on YouTube. It's a very awesome open platform that people can post information, post entertainment content,
Sure.
whatever. Great. I love YouTube. There are advertisements on YouTube. That's totally fine as well. You know, you can't have anything for free without having some type of advertisement or some sort of sponsorship. Oh my goodness. So this specific advertisement I was watching, and it's okay. Let me backtrack for a second. It's kind of ironic. It's kind of ironic because the video I was watching was kind of a commentary on the recent rise of very popular and very wealthy YouTubers, where you see there are this trend among certain channels where they will say, "Oh, check me out! I'm donating $1,000 to random video game streamers." So they'll play a video game or something, and they'll just randomly spend $1,000 and donate it to him, and they'll be like just filming their reaction essentially. And so they'll say, "Oh my gosh, blah 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 blah. This is so intense. This is crazy," or whatever. The fact is, sure, they have maybe 4 or 5 streamers that they donate $1,000 to. Okay, so you spend $5,000 for this video, but this immediate sensation of this, whoa, that's a crazy thing that would have never happened, or in this aspect, the flex where you're showing off your wealth and you're showing off this kind of unusual life that you would have not
kind of
normally.
people that have people take pictures of them while they give money to homeless people or whatever.
Exactly. So the input that you lose, or the assets that you lose through this video in the long run, through sponsorship, through AdSense or whatever they call it, and just the pay-per-view essentially, because in terms of YouTube, you have like this basis where every 1,000 views, it's a certain number of dollars based on whatever statistics. Math and equations aside,
the algorithms and all that
exactly, perfect. All of that aside, you spend even like $5,000 on a video, you're making that much money, if not more, back. So you're essentially just growing this fan base, and you're growing this. And so it's just a long drawn out commentary of like how this is not originally what the platform was created for, and how there's kind of this divide of, the pure content that is purely for entertainment versus the content that, yes, you can technically label it as entertainment, but it still has an ulterior motive. Yeah. Because I think the general idea, and I'm not trying to stray too far of what my original point was, but I think the general idea of YouTube is to create a platform where Joe Blows can be funny and can be entertaining, or be, insightful, or be whatever they want, and make a living off of it. So instead of having to put all of this effort into making...
Was that the original, was for that people could make a living off of it? Was that...
Oh, well, okay. So originally when the platform was established, it was just a place to share content. It was essentially...
Okay. And then it grew into
Right,
by
where-
the
where
addition of
sponsors,
advertisements
ads,
and
yeah.
whatnot. Okay.
You can implement that, and so that it was essentially just the quote unquote trickle down theory, where YouTube's making all of this money from AT&T and Coca-Cola,
All these
and-
huge
yeah,
companies
exactly,
paying them millions of dollars
for
to
advertisements
right.
on their platform because they know it's so popular. So they decide, okay, we'll give a portion of that to our creators. So, or the people that post on this platform.
Right, the people with the most views, more
Exactly.
views get you more money from YouTube, and so on and so
this whole
forth.
algorithm and this whole concept was born from YouTube. So, again, commenting on the fact that people are taking advantage of this algorithm, taking advantage of, oh, I'll put money into this way more than me or you would put into this, but I'm going to make 3 times as much because I put in
of the
this
video.
money. Exactly. So, and real quick, one last tangent before I get to my main point that I was making. Have you heard of any of the kind of adpocalypse that they had with?
Yeah,
YouTube?
I saw Philip DeFranco's on that. I
Mhm.
saw H3H3's on that, and I think Crowder and Shapiro and
Yep.
McGinnis all did videos on
So
it.
one I want to hit on specific that I think it's super telling, not only just within the kind of internet lifestyle that we have, but also a commentary on the parents as a whole and just the lack of
Supervision.
Well, supervision, but also and I don't want to necessarily blame it fully on the parents, because when you have a medium that presents itself to a adult who says, here, let me provide you with a potential educational, potential entertainment value that could teach your kids something, and we can block off an hour of time. So if you're busy at work or something like that, or you have to bring your kid home early for work or whatever it is, you're a very, very busy adult. I get it. You can't pay 100% to your kid. So sometimes it's easier for them to stick it in front of the TV, tell them go play outside for an hour, do whatever, do homework, do whatever it is. So if they're allowing a kid to learn, because there are educational channels on YouTube, they're very much, you can go and learn, spend an hour and become more knowledgeable than you were when you originally started. So I can't necessarily blame them 100% of what this happened, but the giant label point to what I'm trying to make at was the Elsa Gate. Have you heard of that at all?
Elsa Gate?
Elsa Gate.
Is it
like the Frozen character, Elsa?
Right. Is it? I think H3H3 did.
Yeah, Phil DeFranco and H3H3 did.
Where it's like horrible. It's like kids want to click on this, and then it turns into some weird, violent. Is it that the same thing?
Well, kind of.
Okay,
So,
explain to me what Elsa Gate is.
okay, so real quick, short and sweet. Again, I don't want to get super into it. But essentially, it's content that when you put a kid in front of a tablet and you put a kid in front of the whatever iPhone, computer, whatever it is, they have YouTube has specifically designed an app called YouTube for Kids. So it's just a specific filtered out, no horrible content, no graphic adult themes or anything, just specifically for kids. So Elmo, the rest
Sesame
of Sesame
Street, Muppets,
literally
all that stuff.
Right,
Yeah.
the very baseline of what kids would find entertaining. Some people found a way around that, and some people found a way because when you look at the demographics of people who are on, or I guess not demographics specifically, but if you look at the statistics of people who are on that app, the kids will just let the videos run. Mm-hmm. So they'll just be in front of the iPad or
and then it just
iPhone
keeps the
whatever.
autoplay comes on and
Exactly.
there it
and
goes.
They just go to the next video and then the next video and the next video and so YouTubers are paid specifically for like per minute that they're watched on their video and per click and per whatever. So it's a numbers game essentially. So what these YouTubers have done is they've created this, and I'm not going to get into it all because I just kind of find it disgusting. Essentially just take Elsa or Disney or Marvel or just like these very fun family friendly icons, and they're just doing disgusting things with them. And it's this like weirdly kind of sexual overtone that like, young kids are being influenced by and obviously going through hormones and all of this kind of stuff. Like they just don't know how they feel about it, or I don't know. I honestly don't know what they're
scarred and terrified by.
I honestly don't know. So, within this platform being labeled as family friendly, they're able to produce these videos with these childhood icons and make a 10-15 minute video, have the kid watch it entirely, be drawn because it's a childhood video, along with they're playing on this kind of weird hormonal sort of young kid. I don't know what's going on, so they'll might as well watch it, and they make thousands and thousands of dollars. Like there are literal channels there.
And YouTube doesn't censor those videos, or it tries to?
Well, so before, this was like not even like, because there were so many things on YouTube that was like, oh, you have an advertisement on some ISIS video that is like beheading a person. Like you'd have like a Jif's peanut butter whatever commercial or advertisement next to that. Obviously, that's super horrible, and that's like no company or advertisement would want that within YouTube. So there was this huge movement of let's pull out all of our advertisement. AT&T and I think a few other like really big sponsors pulled out, and they're like, all right, we're done. Sorry, YouTube, you screwed up. So that was the primary focus, where it was the distinction of what's advertiser friendly and what's not advertiser friendly. Totally did not recognize what was going on in the YouTube kid atmosphere, because like
it's YouTube for kids.
Exactly.
You know?
You would never think that anyone was like that. So, and I would say probably within the last 4 or 5 months or whatever it is, like when it first broke, that this was a thing, and people brought it to the attention and they flagged it, and YouTube cracked down for sure. Like it was a total just instant. All right, we're done. No more.
Well, doesn't YouTube have that soldier thing where if like you have an incentive to flag certain videos that
I don't know about that.
Yeah.
So
there's an incentive. Like there's a program that H3H3 did a video on where Ethan got this video of YouTube from YouTube, corporate YouTube, saying here's how you can flag videos that are clearly inappropriate, and you can help us rid our website. Oh,
sure. I'm sure they probably promote that kind of mindset where it's like, hey, help us, help us clean up YouTube or whatever. That's fine. But it was still a thing. And their automated system with, if they're able to have content where, like, for example, and this is totally not on the same level, but again, it shows the potential where, Blake, if you're wearing a Mario hat or something, or a Luigi hat from a video game, Nintendo can immediately scan through this video, recognize that you're wearing this icon, or recognize they're wearing a specific symbol of some of their property. They can flag it and demonetize this video immediately. Like that, and I mean, we're not monetized at all, so it doesn't necessarily matter in that aspect. But there are people that do that.
Potentially.
Right, exactly. So the tools are out there to regulate that. And that's the big complaint. And obviously, I didn't mean for this to turn into this giant like YouTube statement, because I don't know how many people are really interested in what's going on the YouTube platform. But yeah, it's a whole big mess. So I guess to simplify, there are a lot of different avenues that people can go down and people can use to gain money. It's out there. We have an open platform. We have the availability, advertisement, sponsors. Just if you can find a way around the system to make money, it's available to you. So, moving forward to my main point, the whole reason why I started this and not like almost 25 minutes later, however long, there's this guy. And I can't remember his name. I wrote it down whenever I initially discovered this guy. I wrote it down, but I forgot to take it with me. I was at work at the time. And he had an advertisement, literally an advertisement before you watch a video, or during a video, or in the middle of a video, or at the end of the video. You have an advertisement for whatever it is. He paid for an advertisement where he says, "Hey everybody, do you want to make money? Hey Blake, do you want to make money?
Yes.
Would you rather be in a higher economic stance than where you are now?"
Sure.
Okay. So here's how you do it, Blake. You see this what did he use? What did I say?
Sewing machine.
Sewing machine. Yeah. So you see this sewing machine?
Ooh, nice.
Yeah. It's $30.
Oh, it's not bad.
That's not it. It's a solid sewing machine.
Sure.
It's not that bad. It does the basic functions of what a sewing machine is.
Yeah.
And we'll ship it out to you. Hey, you know what? We'll even give you free shipping.
Ooh.
Sound like a deal?
Yeah.
Perfect. Guess how much I paid for that sewing machine?
I don't know. What's your profit margin?
Well, I didn't build it. I didn't invest any capital into designing this sewing machine.
Huh.
Because I bought it from Joe Blow over here for $15. So Blake,
Whoa.
because of your lack of understanding of how this market works, and because you just want a quick response to, I want a sewing machine. Sure, here you go. I'm gonna promote and advertise this $30 sewing machine to you so hard that only cost me, in the grand scheme of things, that only cost me maybe $5 to advertise to you specifically. Well, I just spent only $15, so I'm making a $10 profit margin for nothing.
For packaging and shipping a sewing machine to me.
Literally nothing. And shipping and handling, whatever, $4, and you sell that to hundreds of people, and you do this over and over and
Starts to
over and
rack
over
up.
again, you make a lot of money. And I hate the fact that is a thing that people do. And I'm just so frustrated with the fact that, yes, America is the land of the free and the home of the brave and the whatever and the bullshit and the opportunity and the capitalism and the great and don't get me wrong, you put your blood, sweat, and tears and your everything into whatever industry or work or job you're going for, I'm sure you can make it. We have essentially designed a playing ground where anyone has a chance. I mean, you have to be really incentivized, and you have to be really driven to make it, and you have to be really invested in what you do to make it. It's totally possible. I don't think there is any system out there that would say, "Oh, Blake, your idea is stupid. Sorry, you're not going to make it." You could have the stupidest idea of the world, but there's a market for it, and as long as you advertise and market and build and design this towards that specific market, you can make a profit and you can expand and grow your company. There's so many ways for you to do that. But that also leads it to loopholes. Again, calling back to what we were talking about with YouTube, if there is a way for you to make money, do it. And you know what? And unfortunately, that's what people do on the YouTube platform, and that's what people do with this capitalistic, market. So I'm the let's say I'm Glob Blob, and I've invented this essentially this
Is that a
program.
Ukrainian name?
A little bit,
Yeah,
but,
a little bit.
But my family moved here, 40 years ago, and they just wanted to keep the Ukrainian tradition.
Of course.
So I'm an American-born citizen.
But your name is Glob Blob.
Sure, but I live here, and I.
Oh, I'm not
say
doubting that.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
I'm not wearing
Thank
a
you.
wire or anything.
Oh, well, good. Okay, glad. I'm glad we're Blake. Can you take off your shirt?
I don't think anybody wants to see that right now.
Probably not. Especially with this angle, it just makes you look bad, Blake.
Dude,
and
it's just look like a big old tater tot.
see if your right or left side and right side or whatever. So, anyways, I'm glad that there is a way for people to make money. That's awesome. But I think there are certain ways where I will judge you very hard for it. In this instance, you are literally and you do research into this guy's YouTube channel, and there's a specific service that he keeps using, and if I'm gonna be honest, I can't remember what specifically the service is called, but it's essentially like, have you heard of Squarespace or Wix.com or whatever?
I've heard of Squarespace.
Okay, yeah. So it's like you essentially, it's a platform where you can create your own website,
Right.
And you they have e-commerce functionality. So if you want to sell something on your website, go for it. They provide all of the logistics to do that. There are some companies out there that go a little bit further that allow you to have more functionality within
Just more hands-on with the preparation. And
exactly, and they just allow you to have more tools and everything. So this guy specifically, and literally in this advertisement, honing back to what I was originally talking about, in this advertisement, he's like, Blake, sell this $30 sewing machine, but buy it for $15. That was his whole pitch. If you want to make money, be the middleman. He didn't say specifically be the middleman, but that's essentially what he's talking about, is essentially invest in a monthly cost to host this website, to host this whatever cash.com, whatever it is, and just go for it. And I think that is the scummiest thing you can do. And I mean, if you have an idea, if you have something that you want to work on, if you have this since birth, you have this idea to become this insert blank here, great. I love it. That's perfect. That's awesome. But I think it's the idea of get rich quick schemes, and I hate it so much. Don't get me wrong, when I was in high school, sure, let's try and get rich quick. Let's try and flip something. Whatever. That's high school. But this is like a grown man in his 30s, probably early 40s, I don't know, where he's like, hey, don't make a living being a sap. Make a living being smart. And it's this idea where he's obviously in a position where, he's already made it. He's got advertisements. He's got revenue. You're getting the views off of YouTube. You're getting the sponsorships. You're getting I saw that he had a book, like how do you get rich book or whatever. The essentially buy my video for $20 and I'll tell you how to get rich. Like that kind of aspect. So
the Ben Proctor kind of
exactly
that is.
It sounds familiar.
He's the dude that says, this old millionaire that says, if you believe you'll be rich, you will be rich.
Exactly. Perfect. And sure, you might give specific examples that could apply to maybe a few situations.
Anecdotal stuff to plant the idea in your head that this could be me.
Exactly. And I guess we can even pull it back to just a more wide global idea where it's just essentially taking advantage of the naive. And it's not your fault you're naive. I cannot if you, Blake, you walk into this door and you say, I want to be rich, who am I to tell you, no, you can't be rich? Who am I to say, Blake, your ideas are stupid? Obviously, everyone has a right to do what they want to do and to go about any avenue to get there.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot fault you at all. That is your journey. That is your path. That is your dream. Perfect. But it's the people that take advantage of that situation where they see, and I'm not calling you this specifically, Blake, but if you want to sell kitty litter to a specific outreach of specific cat owners that have a specific need for the specific scent that had a specific thing that, like the super niche market, I can't tell you that's a stupid idea because it's possible. But it's Joe Blow who says, Blake, I can make you a millionaire overnight with your products. I'm gonna just give me money or give me your time and attention that I can then infuse sponsorship and I can infuse advertisement into your dream. Give me that. Give me time and I'll make you $1 million. Well, it's not guaranteed. There's no way in his statement that he can say, I guarantee you're going to be a millionaire by the end of the month.
Because nothing is guaranteed in this market.
Exactly. And so it's that, and I saw a video about this guy specifically, where based on his claims and his whatever, he did a response video where he said, "Oh, is this a scam? Well, let me explain why it's not a scam." And at first, I'm thinking, okay, I'm not saying it's a scam. It's obviously a legitimate practice that bases on a lot of illegal jargon and blah blah blah, and everything's above board. Great, but you spend the first 5 minutes of your video, which again, on average, YouTube videos are like 10 minutes long, and that's where you kind of maximize revenue and everything like that. You spend 5 minutes
telling people that this is not a scam.
Exactly. You're saying the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, building up this thing where you're like trying to entice you. Where it's those same videos where it's like, hey, do you want to meet women? Do you want to be like super suave and
do you want to be Ryan Gosling in Crazy Stupid Love?
Exactly. Like it builds on this. I'd almost say it's the drama. It's almost the human need to like be entertained or to have this life that they don't normally have. So if you're average Joe Blow and immediately some guy is like saying, "Oh, go for it, yeah, if you want some more coffee," if you want like this different lifestyle, it's hard not to resist. So all I'm saying is that I think he's scum. So the first 5 minutes, he does this thing where he's talking about trying to allure you and whatever. Then for literally 50 minutes, he goes through these BS, long, drawn-out concepts of how I'm not a scam artist. And it's literally like one point he was trying to denounce. He was like, oh, people say that I rip people off with my return policy. Mm-hmm. And then literally I'm fast forwarding because I don't want to give him the time of day to allow him to get the minutes that I viewed his video. So I fast forward to this part and he's like, oh, look at my website. I say that I have a 14-day return policy. How is that scummy? Well, one, people are busy. And when you make it a hassle to a point to return your product or return or do whatever it is, and there are companies that do that. Like, I'm straight up like Adobe Creator or whatever it is, the whole Photoshop and that whole suite. It's horrible to try and talk to their customer service about returns. They have you so they grab you by the throat with the fine print and the you didn't read the terms and service and you didn't blah blah blah, so you're shit out of luck. It's horrible how efficiently they do that. I mean, good for them, because as soon as someone gives you your credit card number, you're charging them, and then it's money made. But it's that idea that you're not willing to help the customer. You're not willing to say, you know what, you're right, you made a mistake. No, Blake, you signed the fine print. You clicked the I agree on this. Sorry, we have your money. Haha, you suck.
That's how you get money. That's how you get money initially, but you don't gain customers back.
Right, exactly. So,
it's un-Amazon of them.
It's that same mindset where it's just like, I already had your time and money, so like I don't really care how you end up. So whatever,
Mm-hmm.
I hate it. I hate it. It frustrates me. It's scummy. So that's middlemen. That's short and sweet. That's why I hate middlemen. It's just this idea of I'm here to push this product on you, or push this idea, or push this service that I'm not doing anything. It's the same thing. And I love that anecdote from The Office where there's this one episode where they have it's like the bring your kids to work day or something like that, or bring your daughters to work day, and then Michael Scott's talking about how the operation functions, and
is that the one where Creed says you guys want to see a
yeah,
foot
you
with
guys want to see
six
an extra
toes?
toe, yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah, exactly. Creed, why? But there's one scene where they're just like, "You're just a middleman," and Michael's like, "Nobody, no. We sell it to. Well, why don't companies that make the paper just sell it?" And he's like, "Well, you're talking about Staples, and they're running out of business." So I'm just like, it's and sure, I get it that having the resources and having the ability to be able to, again, what I've said from the very beginning, to simplify it and to make it a very easy experience for you to say, all right, I have the tools where, Blake, if you click this button, you're going to get food for the week. Would you not press this button? Wouldn't it be easy for you to just...
It'd be easy.
Exactly. So if I can provide that service for you, and I say, sure, Blake, you can go to Walmart or Target or wherever, and you can spend the time and effort and energy to go shopping and do all of this and spend this money and look for the best thing and blah, blah, blah. But if I could say, Blake, push this button and you will eat healthy and cheap and super effective for the whole week, wouldn't you be incentivized to push this button?
Initially, yeah.
Exactly. So, and stipulations, and obviously depending on what actually happens
yeah.
from it, sure. But it's the people that say, oh, well, push this button and something will happen. Does it have anything to do with groceries? Maybe, probably. I don't know. I'll tell you it does, but does it actually? I don't know. Push the button. See,
click to find out.
Click. Do it. And then you push the button, and it's like, oh, well, sorry, you signed the fine print, and then you're screwed. Whatever. Oh, well, if you get groceries, cool. If not, whatever. I don't know. Like, exactly. So
yeah,
it's just that mindset that I really hate. Last thing I want to cover is salespeople. Ooh, boy, I hate salespeople. Kat, all right,
she's
all right. That's fine. I would love if Harper could just not be annoying. That would be amazing.
You mean a dog?
She's a dog, but she's a cat. She's just this really. Anyways, aside from the point, salespeople.
All right.
I hate sales. I hate it so much, and I can say with the limited amount of experience. Okay, I say limited, but probably almost under a year of experience in sales that I've had working with my experiences and stuff like that. I hate it, hate it, hate it, hate it. Do you know why, Blake?
I'd love to find out.
Okay. Well, real quick, why do you think I hate sales so much? Salespeople.
Salespeople? Because they care about making a quick buck, and they'll tell you anything and everything to make you sign on the dotted line?
Sort of.
Okay.
You captured some part of it.
Okay, please elaborate.
I think the idea of a salesperson is totally totally skewed in today's society. Okay? When you have a product, shouldn't that product sell itself? Shouldn't you be oh, wow, that totally ruined everything I was going to say. Go ahead. Why don't you think a product should sell itself?
I mean, initially, right? So let's say I wanted to sell you. I remember I was a leasing consultant for a couple of months.
Sure.
I'm a leasing consultant. You're looking at this apartment that we're sitting in right now.
Okay.
Okay. Is tell me that the experience, if I was a good leasing consultant, the experience of me telling you and being ecstatic and excited and convincing and charming, and tell me that wouldn't affect your overall decision. It would. Let's say
it would have. Okay, so
let's say I was the opposite. Let's say I was a total dick, and I just opened the doors like, yeah, there's the shitter over there. You can have a fridge. I don't really care, but there's the room, and you can put a TV.
I agree, and I think you have a very, very valid point in terms of the importance of salesmen in a different aspect.
So you're talking about strictly if you like the product, you don't need somebody
to sell you on it. Because why is someone coming to you in the first place?
Because they want something.
Did you randomly reach out to hello person who's already living in a house or already living in an apartment?
Do you want another house?
Exactly. Or I know your lease is ending in a couple of months. Have you ever made that phone call saying, I know your lease is ending in a few months. Do you want to come? Right, exactly.
No.
People will walk into the office and say, I would like something. Sell me something. Or they won't say specifically sell me something, but they'll show me what fits within my boundaries. So when I was searching for apartments, literally every single time I went into a one of the leasing offices and stuff like that, they would say, all right, what's your budget? Well, I'm looking for something around this many dollars. Okay, well, are you living by yourself? Are you living with someone else? How many, whatever, what's your square footage? What are you expecting? Blah, blah. So they ask me all these questions, and then they say, okay, based off of 10 options, I think these 4 options are best for you. And I'm going to try and sell you on X, Y, and Z, whatever specific one. Sure, it might be a little more money, but I'm still spending a lot of money on rent and the investment to
amenities and whatnot.
Exactly. My issue is salesmen on the smaller things, where you can go your entire life without needing it or wanting it,
and then suddenly
my job is to make you want it.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where the product shines the most. So, for example, my experience with whenever I was selling phones at Target, being the mobile salesman and stuff like that, I would say, Blake, I know you came here thinking about maybe wanting a phone, maybe not. You heard the latest new iPhone or the latest Samsung phone is out, and you don't know. You're not sure because it's a big investment, and you already have a phone, and it works just fine. My job is to make you say, I want that phone. I need it. I cannot leave this building without this new phone.
Mm-hmm.
And then on top of that, I need to sell you insurance. Well, insurance, what is that? Well, if you can start paying an extra certain number of dollars a month, and then if your phone breaks, you can pay us extra money, and then we'll resupply you with a new phone. Sure, it's like, you spend, $800 on a phone, and then if you spend $200, it's easier than replacing the phone entirely. But it's still that principle of, I walk into a Fry's. I'm sure there are salesmen at a electronics store. You know Fry's, what I'm talking about?
Sure.
Okay, so Fry's is a huge electronics store. It sells audio equipment, video games, computers. They're big on kind of the tech side of things.
Gotcha.
So, but they still have like home furnishings and like washer dryers, whatever.
Oh, okay.
So it's just a huge store. Sure, there are salesmen that make commission based on what you buy. So they recommend, hey, you should have this. And then you go to the register and you say, oh, Joe Blow told me to buy this. Then they'll, get commission based on that. That I'm totally fine with, because you're going into this wanting something. You're saying, okay, I know I need a new motherboard for a computer, but which one do I need? I don't know. Help me. And I think that's the point I'm trying to make with salesmen, is I think they should be able not necessarily to base your decision solely on their buck, how much money they're making, but influence their decision based on your need.
On what's right.
Exactly. And it's this idea where, because you have the sleazy car salesman.
Yeah, I work at dealerships. I know how it rolls.
Cars are expensive.
Mm-hmm.
They are super expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think any new, and I think there's real quick, we should make a definitive difference between a new car salesman and a used car salesman. Because at least in my experience, a new car salesman, they have a lot more lenience with what they can charge. They it's up to them, because essentially you're handing them, here's how much the car cost, here's how much we're expecting to make on it, however much you can upsell. that's your profit or whatever it is. Whereas with used
Commission.
cars, I saw that it was a lot more. They had to search for the authority to sell it at a certain price.
Mhm.
At least, again, this is my experience. Where when we were getting the used car, it was like, oh, I have to talk to my manager about it. Whatever.
Yeah.
New car salesmen, they won't say that.
No,
They'll
because
say,
the price is set. The
Right.
price is set. So what happens is new cars, they come perfect, ready to go
Mhm.
off the lot. The thing about used cars is they have to go through detail.
Mhm.
Then they have to go through interior.
Mhm.
Then they have to go through the mechanic shop. They have to go through tires. They have to go through the PDR guys, me. They have to go through the paint guys. And after all of that money that's spent on these contractors, they're left with a limited amount of money
Mhm.
that they can go up or down on in terms of the sale.
right.
So, yeah.
And obviously, people in the used car salesmen are trying to make money. Sure, that's what you try and do. But I think it's drastically different when here's the car you're buying at face value. It doesn't. What you see is what you get. You're not. Oh, I want this new car, but I want these types of heated seats, and I want this kind of window or whatever, not window. Sunroof. I want a sunroof, and I want heated seats, and I want XM radio, and blah 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 blah. Like, there's so much you can like move up and down with a new car salesman versus a used cars. I'm just trying to make you like the car. If you want like super bump and bass, well, find a different car because if that car doesn't have that availability, we're not gonna we can't sell it to you. So, and it's that same thing where with new car salesmen, it's like, oh well, I expect to pay $15,000 on this new car, whatever it is. I don't know what it is for an arbitrary number, but this guy's gonna say, oh, but don't you want this? Don't you want this also? Shouldn't you get this also extra protection and this extra super leather seating and this interior style? And they're just going to
come back insurance on oil changes. You can come back and oil changes only $5.
Exactly.
Don't you want free air pumps for your tires?
Perfect. Exactly. It's these extra built on.
Mm-hmm.
And it's this idea where, yeah, sure, I was looking for a car, but initially I was trying to spend $15,000, and now I'm spending like $25,000 because you convinced me. Whereas other amenities and stuff like that, it's this idea of, yes, I need it, and you're going to charge me a reasonable price for it. You're just trying to make sure I make the right price. Because a used car salesman doesn't care what car you actually want. They just want money. I don't know if that's with all used car salesmen, but that's my interpretation of my
can't that be all
experience.
sales though?
But that's the point I'm trying to make. Yes, a large chunk of salesmen want money. You get commission. You're trying to make it up.
Every single salesman wants money.
Yes, every
It's
single salesman. And
what they'll do to make that money, what they'll sacrifice morally or ethically in order to make that money.
Yes, and I think when you're dealing with the higher end budgets and you're dealing with the higher end stuff and the what's the right word? It's not like
pristine.
Kind of, yeah. It's that the luxury items. It's when you jump into the luxury concepts of sales, that's when it gets scummy, and that's when it gets.
See, I think it's the opposite.
Really,
I do.
Because,
all right, so for example, let's say we ride up a hail car in the morning. It's got $3,000 worth of hail that we have to do. It's on a white car, so it's not really easy to see. A customer really wouldn't see it. Mm-hmm. And then let's say a customer walks in, or let's say we ask the manager, hey, do you want us to work on this or not? And the manager goes, we've only got $2,000 left to spend on that. You guys are a little bit too steep. Just don't worry about it. We'll try to sell it as it is, okay? Mm-hmm. Let's say a customer walks in, and let's say the hail damage could be potentially total a car.
Sure.
That used car salesman is going to try to convince you that there's no fucking hail on that thing at all. That it's non-existent. This car is perfect the way it is.
You see, okay, so
in order to make that commission.
Okay, so then I retract what I was saying originally. Instead of in terms of getting into that broad aspect of new versus used, it's a car. I still think my original statement of luxury items. A car is a luxury item.
Okay,
it's not. Yes. To get around in today's day and age, you probably most likely need a car. To be able to live in Richardson and have to drive 40 minutes to work, or vice versa, you live somewhere and you have to drive a 30-minute distance to get there. Obviously, you can't walk that distance. Obviously, it's going to take a long-ass time to take a bus or public transportation, so you're going to need the luxury of having this vehicle. So then I retract my statement based off of what you've said, and I say that still having the luxury items where you don't necessarily need it, but I'm going to try and upsell you or convince you to a certain extent that you do need it, I think that's where it gets scummy. And that's why I hate salesmen. That, long story short, I just hate most salesmen. Sure that there are some, and again, you go to Best Buy or Fry's or these electronic stores, or I can't think of really anything more smaller down.
Well, think about it. Every single store that I go to, like I walked into Cavender's was it yesterday, and to just pick up a pair of khakis and a t-shirt, and when I went to the front desk to pay for the stuff, the girl asked me, "Did anybody help you today?"
Yeah.
And I said, "No, but I didn't need help." She was like, "Oh, I'm sorry about that." So even at the low retail store, people are working off a commission.
Well, exactly. But the thing is, though, I think you're more a salesman is more likely just going to try and get you to buy something. Whereas with a car salesman, that high-end luxury, they're going to say, "Oh, but you need X, Y, and Z."
You're here for a car, but did you know
exactly
this, and this?
Whereas if you're working at a retail store and you're at a JCPenney or whatever location, they're going to say, you're going to walk and say, "All right, Joe, I need pants and a shirt, or I want to look nice." They're going to do everything to make you look nice, and you're going to have the final authority because you can't pay extra for a shirt that has wind resistance and can do whatever fancy
make
crap.
Fly and whatever.
Sure, right. So they're just going to try and you specify the budget, and they're going to try and find something within that budget for you. At least, again, that's my personal experience with it, and I think because clothes aren't a luxury item, that's why you don't see that. Phones, they're kind of a luxury item because they're expensive and sure you need them, but new ones come out all the time, and I'm going to try and sell you on this new luxury item. So I don't know.
I don't see any. So I guess the question is there something inherently wrong or morally inept about somebody trying to sell you something?
Okay.
Right? That's the basic fundamental question, right? Is there something wrong with, let's take the car, for example. Is there something wrong with that salesman trying to convince you to buy XM? Or to buy the insurance plan that they have? Is there something morally or inherently wrong with them trying to do that? Is there? Or do you think because they sometimes take advantage of saps or suckers like that, like the soccer mom that walks in and says, "I think I need to call my husband," kind of kind of person? Is there something wrong with that? Is there?
You see,
or should you be more prepared going into a purchase? Should you do more research on doing a purchase?
And that's the thing. And that's why, and again, to link back what we were saying with what I was saying about the middleman type stuff, sure, you can see a sewing machine that's $30 and say, yes, that's what I want. I'm not trying to boycott those types of companies and boycott those types of people that will take advantage of these certain types of individuals, because I would say I would always need to be prepared for those kind of purchases. I think it's very important to be informed, to live in this open, capitalist, open market type of society. You need to be able to say, "No, I'll wait." You need to say, "I'll come back." Because, there's the stereotype of, half the time if you say, "I'm going to come back," or whatever, or "I'm going to go to different companies," that salesman will call you and try and give you a cheaper bargain. That's just kind of a understood rule, so to speak. So definitely, I think it's important that you're prepared, you're informed, you understand what you're getting yourself into, and you shouldn't allow yourself to get conned. But I think having, Blake, you're a mouse, here's some cheese. Okay, whatever. You love cheese. Aren't you going to go for the cheese?
I do love cheese.
Exactly. Oh, I love cheese as well. But aren't you going to go for the cheese?
Sure.
All right, but if the cheese was like this, wouldn't it be harder for you to get the cheese?
Sure.
So, because we allow people to just easily take what they want and they'll easily gain access to scamming people, the cheese is scamming people and upselling and these kind of what I consider not the highest above board practices. Because we have it so open, that's where my problem is. Will I stop it? No. That if you get scammed, I'm sorry, it's your fault. I've been scammed before. I've been, I've fallen victim to certain, horrible practices where hindsight is 50-50, and oh God, Yuval, how could you have ever fallen for that?
Yeah, did you ever get that money back from that Nigerian prince that emailed you?
Exactly, you're right. I was, hey Blake, I was only 14, so like let's calm down on that.
Did you ever get your passport back?
I have not. I'm still waiting. It's been what, 7
God, you
years,
figured a
give or
Nigerian
take?
prince could have those connections.
Exactly, that's what I'm saying. So that's where that's my issue. I personally have a problem with it. Will I get upset with someone who is like, if I'm going to try and buy a new car, it's like 2025 or whatever, and I want the super flying hoverboard, whatever flying car, I will get upset with someone who tries to upsell me, because I'm going to be very upfront, very honest with this person, saying, look, here's my budget. And I mean, kind of sidetracking the story real quick, my finance professor always said, take a calculator to your purchasing your car, because depending on what your APR rate is, if you're not buying the car outright, what kind of loan the dealership is offering you, because they're going to ask you how much can you afford a month, and they're going to say, if you can say, oh, I can afford $700 a month, and they're going to charge you out the asshole and charge you for 12 months for $700, whatever, math wise, they're going to charge you a lot of money. So bring a calculator and just be upfront about it and be able to walk away. So yes, there are accepted practices where you can avoid those situations, but I'd rather us live in a society where those situations aren't needed to be avoided. You know what I'm saying? Kind of where.
Yeah. But with that being said, now what?
What do you mean?
Well, who's going to regulate that?
Government. That's a totally entirely. No, I understand, and that is a totally separate conversation. But I think it's the fact that we acknowledge that that's a thing. That is a beauty mark, I guess, is what people would call it, on the face of America. How we deal with it and how we regulate it. Well, I mean, we're just going to prevent.
Well, so there are some products that it's illegal for you to resell, right? So, like some, like on toy commercials or whatever, this product is not available for resale or whatever. Really?
Yeah. Oh, okay. I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. So, if more companies did that, some companies don't care, or some people just go to Craigslist, right?
That's true.
Just like I went with you to sell some cards or whatever, or some Fallout thing for.
Oh yeah.
On Craigslist.
Yeah, I remember that.
What's stopping you from doing $5 more than what you paid for it?
So okay, that
is that not the same thing?
It is in the mindset and the over, and just want to wrap it up real quick, but I think in that example, okay, so just real quick clarification for everyone to understand. There was a limited pre-order for a certain super special edition for a thing, and they only had, let's say, 10,000 items or whatever. So you pre-ordered it, and then the item came in, and that was it. It's not like you could buy it off the shelf. It's not available. Once it's out, for good. Okay. So what I did, and this is a very common practice, and this is why I don't necessarily have as much. It's still, yes, you're right. It still falls under the same principle of taking advantage of certain people, but I think that plays into the aspect of the supply and demand, where you only have a certain limited number of items. If you have $1,000, or if you have 1,000 items, then if you had 100 items, the prices are going to widely be different. So if you have 1,000 items selling it for $10 a piece, but only 100 items, you're going to be selling them for 100 items a piece to make up for that revenue loss. So I think with that one specifically, that is because I had the resources and the availability to purchase 2 of these items, one for myself and one to resell to see how much extra I could make off of that. This person had just the same opportunity as me, had the ability to wait for the pre-order or do whatever. He had the same exact availability as me. So when they have, again, a limited supply, and now all of a sudden you can't have it, and I say, oh, well, you can still have it, but I'll charge you an extra $20 or $30. I don't remember how much extra I was charging him, but whatever. I think that's still relatively fair because, one, yes, he has the choice of saying yes or no. It's not this item is a...
It wasn't an item that he could go to the store and buy, I guess is what you were saying.
Right. And so because I was offering him... Because technically I did the work and had that extra capital to buy that item, I'll charge a little bit extra for it. I do agree that it is kind of a shit practice to And if I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of a hypocrite for it because I've also seen like with certain limited edition consoles and stuff like that and video game stuff, I do see it and I kind of judge them, and I do judge myself. I agree. I did at that time. I did judge myself there, but I still feel strong. I still feel more strongly than against the salespeople than in that instance, because it's not like they're running out of Mercedes. It's not like they're running out of whatever.
No, but
Ford
there is a
Explorer.
market, right? So whenever, like, let's say gas magically jumps to $4.50 a gallon.
But you see, that plays off of, again, supply and demand.
Okay.
You go to a dealership, it's not like, oh, Blake, this is the last thing that you want, and it'll never be here, so pay an extra $10,000 for it, and then it's yours. It's, here's the thing that you could buy, and in 2 months you could buy it again, and then in a month you could buy it again.
Well, maybe not.
I think specifically with a dealership, okay, again, then in my personal experience, I've never seen a car that's like, oh, sorry, we're out, you can't have it. It's not like you can never have this ever again. I don't know. Have you had an experience where you?
Well, one of the dealerships that I work at, they cycle through cars nonstop, and one car will be there today that will not be there again.
But is that
tomorrow.
used or new?
Used.
Okay, I'm talking about new.
Oh, okay.
With new cars and stuff like that, the new 2018 Audi, whatever, blah blah blah, whatever car, I don't think you're going to run out, because then if anything, you just go to a different dealership who have it at the same price. So because you can price fluctuate that, and that it's always in supply, just because you have this stranglehold on having that car and it's something that people want, I don't think that's fair. Whereas I have this thing that there's no more copies of it, so if you want it, you're going to have to spend a little extra for it.
I gotcha.
I do agree, and I'm calling myself out for it. I do think it's a little scummy that I'm doing that practice where, Blake, you want this? Well, it looks cool. It's really awesome. It
is awesome.
But you have to spend an extra $30 for it, an extra $40 for it. But you see, you can base that judgment off of it. Whereas, I need a new car. I would like something that's fuel efficient. It won't break down. It's not some crappy 1982 whatever Civic. I don't know if that was a thing
Not
back
a DeLorean.
then. Exactly, right? It's not like this crap thing where now all of a sudden I need a car, because now the salesman can say, oh, do you want this price? Oh, well, no, wait, it's this price. Oh, but. And you go to a different salesman who has the same quantity and stock of that car, and it's the same thing. So I don't know. That's my only difference. So
that's fair.
But I do agree. It's fair to point that out. Where, yes, I guess we can connect that to a more global point of humans are just crap, and everyone just tries to take advantage of the situation. And again, that's why I say I'm not trying to protest these people trying to make a quick buck off of YouTube. I'm not trying to protest saying, I totally even forgot my anecdote that I was supposed to say.
I'm sorry.
No. Oh, no. It's my fault. I was totally blanked. I got so heated about everything else. But so real quick. So let's last thing we'll tie it into the buying and selling for more expensive. So, in this one instance, a family member was purchasing a gift for somebody, and it was like just whatever gift, and I forget how much of the price was. Let's just, for the sake of argument, let's say it was like $60 or something like that. So you spend $60 on this gift. Literally, they order it through Amazon. And again, nothing against Amazon. I love Amazon. I think it's a great service to be able to provide people to purchase whatever they want. It's great. It's awesome. But through Amazon, they were able to purchase a $60 gift. When it shows up at their door, okay, you're expecting this is from a third party who purchased it and is selling it for a reasonable market increase or whatever. Or markup is the word I'm looking for. So like whatever, 50% markup, because that's just what companies do. That's fine. That's reasonable. You're trying to pay your employees. You're trying to pay for everything, all that kind of stuff. But this specific item that was $60, well, it shows up in Walmart wrapping. The shipping and handling was all Walmart packaging and Walmart blah, 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 and whatever. Come to find out, you look on Walmart's website, and that product was $20 cheaper. So if this family member was able to spend the extra time and spend the extra steps to explore everything, Walmart, Target, Amazon, Toys R Us, bad example, but because they're running out of business, but whatever. just the different avenues of being able to purchase this stuff online, if they've invested the time and opportunity, then sure, they could have found the cheaper price. But, you have this regular commodity or you have this regular platform where you can purchase something that generally says we have the cheaper deals. You kind of get accustomed to purchasing it from there. I think it's horrible that someone's just like, oh, hey, give me $60 and I'll give you this thing. And you think in your head, okay, but I'm still pocketing the $20. And I didn't do anything. I literally just ordered it from Walmart and just sent it out to you, and I'm pocketing $20. So I think that again, that's kind of connects back to what we were saying before, not necessarily about now. I just think it's all crap. Moral of the story, people are crap.
I don't know. I see it as, let's say I really want yogurt. I really want yogurt really bad. And I drive to the place and it turns out it's closed.
Okay. Who
do I blame?
I guess
the yogurt shop for not staying open, or me for not checking what time the hours are.
BC, but then it's like, oh, well, Blake, if you want your yogurt now, I'm Joe Blow who can open up his vat or coat or whatever.
Yeah, and if I want yogurt that bad,
no,
it's up to me to decide if I should pay you the
hold on.
Extra
if I
$5.
say, hey, Blake, here's some better quality yogurt that I'm advertising as my own product that I've homemade. It's extra $5 or $10 or whatever, and you say, oh, okay, support local business, blah, 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 whatever. That's cool. You purchase it, and you peel off the lid, and it's the yogurt that you were trying to go for originally. I think that's kind of scummy. I think it's where, if you're marketing yourself as a kind of like I said, the local business, and this idea where, I have my own, I have my vendor, and I'm purchasing, and I have to package it and ship it and, market it and whatever, and send it out. Well, that's different from just some guy ordering it from a website and then that's already established and then sending it out to someone else. I don't know. I
don't know. Basically, it comes down to me. People, if you're gonna make a purchase, just look into it a little bit more.
Ultimately, everything lands on the consumer, and that's why I'm not saying boycott Amazon, boycott these salespeople, and boycott because.
So don't blame the salespeople for seeing an opportunity, and all right, it's there.
Depending on what the opportunity is, I will still think you're scummy if you take that opportunity. I think there's a limit to where it's okay, and I say yes, go for it. Do
How about joining into a lawsuit that's
a separate conversation entirely.
Is that scummy too, or no?
That is. Hey, everybody! Thanks for tuning into this podcast. I really hope that you enjoyed our conversation, and Blake is horrible and I hate him. So everybody have a fantastic night and day and whenever you are listening to this podcast. Peace. And that is the end of the show. I really hope you enjoyed it. Just remember, this thing is sponsored by Haven Cottage Event Center, and I am making up the words as I sing this song. But make sure to give them a call or an email if you want to do something that is small or medium. And that's about it.
This is the end song. It is now over.